let's look at the anatomy here, the history of AIG. Okay, Brian, you ready? I'm going to do this part. Let's start in 1993. Here's what happened. In 1993, President Clinton signed a law called the Revenue Reconciliation Act of 1993. Remember, $165 million in bonuses. That's crazy. Who makes that kind of money? What does this mean in 1993? What did that?
It meant if you were going to compensate an employee for over $1 million, if you didn't use a bonus, you wouldn't be able to deduct it from your taxes.
So in other words, the government was encouraging businesses to give people big bonuses.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Did you know that? That's weird. Okay. Then we go to 1995. They issued new regulations related to CRA. And help me out on this one, Brian. The new 1995 regulations, listen to this one, de-emphasize subjective assessment measures in favor of strictly numerical ones.
That basically means quotas.
Oh, quotas. I know that. Then they also instructed bank examiners to take into account how well banks responded to complaints from groups such as minority community activist organizations like ACORN. I know those guys too. They're always so happy. Then in December 1995, Cisneros, who was the head of HUD, moved Fannie and Freddie towards a requirement that 42% of the mortgages would now serve low and moderate income families. So in other words, they would have to have almost half of everything on the books there at AIG had to be low-income mortgages. Then in 2000, Andrew Cuomo, you know him. He's the guy on TV now saying, we got to get down to the bottom of this. This is an outrage. Remember that guy? He was Cisneros' successor. He established an even more aggressive goal in 2000. He raised that number to 50% and dramatically hiked Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's mandates to buy mortgages in underserved neighborhoods for the very, very low income. He also encouraged them to strongly enter the subprime loan market. Brian, I'm not a scientist like you are, one of these brain room guys. A subprime loan market, isn't that the market that we had so much trouble with?
It's the credit default swaps that got AIG in trouble.
That's weird. Their presence in the subprime market could be significant benefit to lower income families, minorities, and families living in underserved areas. Okay. Then in 2000 to 2003, they went from $1.2 billion in subprime mortgages to $15 billion in 2002. And then in 2003, they bought $81 billion in subprime securities. Then they made this flexible product line where you could get a loan for 100% financing. All you needed was $500. Isn't that great, Uncle Sam? Thanks for that. Then they had some scandal. You just put scandal up there. Okay. Bigger than Ken Lay, Then Barney Franks said this on September 10th, 2003. We don't have the sound for Barney Frank? Now, this is 2003.
This is a case where Fannie and Freddie are fundamentally sound, but they are not in danger of going under. They're not the best investments these days from the long-term standpoint.
Oh, no, that's the wrong one. This is in 2003. He said, I worry, frankly, that there's tension here. The more people, in my judgment, exaggerate the threat of safety and soundness to Fannie and Freddie. It's kind of like that, except it's a few years earlier when people were saying, gee, don't you think what we're doing here is wrong? No. Mr. Oversight said, please don't be ridiculous or exaggerate. Then he also said in September 25th, he said, I believe there has been more alarm raised about the potential unsafety and unsoundness than in fact exists. Then in 2004, President Bush got involved. He juiced up the subprime market, and he took that goal from 50% to 56%. So you see, they're building a stable company here. Then we had this last statement from last summer of Barney Frank, where he's like, don't look over here, there's no problem. Then on September 7th of this year, the United States government took control of this out-of-control company. I mean, look what they've done. The federal government needed to take control of them. Then in December 2008, they paid, this is last December, they paid $55 million to some employees. Nobody really said anything about that one. That's weird. And now as the poll numbers are starting to go and people are starting to get more and more angry about our money, what happens? They pay $165 million to in the bonuses just this last Friday. And then Barney Frank has the gall to say this.
By the way, it does appear to me we're rewarding incompetence. Forget about the legal matter here for a second. These bonuses are going to people who screwed this thing up enormously.
Really? Barney, are you getting a bonus? Barney, are you getting a bonus? Barney, are you getting a bonus? Because the way it looks like it started here and ended here. It had nothing to do with the company. It had everything to do with the weasels in Washington.